This might be something that you don't know about, and it is kind of hard to really see and understand because it's hidden, very, very hidden. But this is how the Illuminati work. We know Jay-Z and Kanye West have been caught throwing the Baphomet, basically promoting the Baphomet on their clothing line, and they sell it as well. This is how sneaky the Illuminati sellouts become. It's hard to see at first, but when you examine it, you see it for what it is. See this image here? Take a close look at it. What does it resemble? What does this image here resemble? It doesn't look normal. Looks like, if you look at the two horns, one horn goes up, another horn goes up. The outer skull of the Baphomet. This is how sneaky the Illuminati become. They'll even put it on front of the cover, because we know with Jay-Z he puts do what I will, Aleister Crowley. So it's no surprise that they'll put a Baphomet on front of the cover. Not many people would notice it unless you actually, because you can just clearly see two horns there, and this here looks exactly like the Baphomet skull. This is how they do it. Even looking away from a distance, you can see that it looks like the Baphomet. Looks exactly like the Baphomet. The Baphomet head, not the body. So, Jay-Z and Kanye West released their much anticipated album, Watch the Throne. Really, they're saying watch, because we know Kanye West, Jay-Z, see themselves as gods. They see themselves as gods, so therefore they're saying watch the throne, because therefore they believe they're a god. That's why they're putting throne, they believe that they're God. Or they also could be talking about Lucifer. Watch the throne, basically Lucifer's throne that he takes basically when he sets up the beast kingdom. Because not many people would have really seen this and noticed it. But if you look in detail at it closer, you can clearly see it matches right next to the Baphomet. If you put an image over the top of it, guarantee it would fit right in place, because this is how they do it. You can just see from a distance it looks like a goat head. Not many people, like I said, not many people would have noticed this. That's why they do it. And although we are often told not to judge a book by its cover, there seems like there may be some disturbing occult symbolism on the cover of their album, or the four images in the middle of each side of the square illustration the shape of the goat-headed Baphomet. As you see, it looks exactly like it. Two horns at the top, like I said. There's only one thing that means Baphomet. Blogs and message boards are already buzzing questions if that is the case and why it would be there. Background on symbolism. Manly Paul P. Hall, one of the foremost celebrated Freemason theologians and an expert on the occult, wrote this of esoteric symbols. Symbolism is the language of the mysteries. In fact, it is the language not only of mysticism and theological, but of all nature, for every law and power active in the universe is manifested to the limited sense perceptions of man, though the medium of symbol, every form existing in the diverse sphere of being, is symbolic of the divine activity by which it is produced. By symbols, men have ever sought to communicate to each other those thoughts which transcend the limitations of language. As we know, this is how the Illuminati basically can communicate with one another in codes, numbers, symbolism. It's how they basically send a message. That's how they do it. They've done it for years. Rejecting man's convinced dialects as antiquate and unworthy to predicate divine ideas, the mysteries thou choose symbolism as a far more ingenious and ideal method of preserving their transcendental knowledge in a single figure. A symbol may both reveal and conceal, for to the wise the subject of the symbol is obvious, while to the ignorant the figure remains inscrutable. Hence, he who seeks to unveil the secret doctrine of antiquity must search for that doctrine not upon the open pages of books which might fall into the hands of the unworthy, but in the place where it was originally concealed. Secret teachings of all ages. In the occult world, symbols are a language unto themselves. The secret doctrine of ancient times were hidden for those in the know. Through symbols are signs as whole countries. Today men gaze with awe and reverence upon the mighty Menons, standing alone on the sands of Egypt, or upon the strange pyramids of Paluccu, mute testimonies. These are of the lost arts and sciences of antiquity, and the concealed. This wisdom must remain until this race has learned to read the universal language, symbolism. Which brings us to the symbol that is in question on the cover of Watch the Throne, and that is one of Baphomet. As we see here, it almost perfectly lines up. Look at it. Look at there. Perfectly lines right up. Lines perfectly right up. That bit there is a nose. Or you could do it this way. Fits perfectly right in. This is how they do it. May not look exactly the same. That's how they fool people. But if you look, basically perfectly lines up. They're not obviously going to do it the same because then they'll get found out. But as we see here, the Baphomet, we see the Baphomet. The Baphomet is a mystical figure known in many esoteric and occult circles, a creature with a goat's head and Durok's human body, and I feel that is actually the Kanye, often linked with the symbolism for a medical profession. This figure is claimed to have several different purposes, dating back to the times of the Knights Templars, which the Knights Templars worship Lucifer. That's why it's got a connection to the Roman Vatican, that red cross thing, and the Knights Templars, because it's the Knights Templars worship Satan. And the Crusades in 11th century all the way to the Church of Satan today. The Baphomet is said to symbolize the union of opposites as represented in the image above, drawn by black magic Levi, whose name is on the bottom. There is the image of a light moon and dark moon. The positioning of the positioning of its hands are also in opposite directions, representing the motto, as above so below. All these sayings and symbols point to what is known as a secret doctrine, which is the union of the gods with humanity, the fusion of the scared feminine and the masculine is nothing more than the desire on the part of occultists for the return of the gods to earth to once again mate with human women, a topic covered in great detail, the Nephilim and Genesis, but they weren't gods. Many people promote that they were gods. They weren't. They were fallen. They were angels of God that decided to rebel against God. That was the real truth. They rebelled against God, decided to go on earth in their own way. They knew they couldn't sleep with women in the form that they were in of an angel, so they took forms of humans because they knew they couldn't do anything in the Bible. This ancient secret could not be discussed and has been passed on through symbols for centuries. The Baphomet now became seen as a father of wisdom. Isn't father of wisdom, is father of lies, and liberator of the spirit to those who were indicted. As we see the Baphomet, Anton LaVey, founder of the Church of Satan, provides a very soon explanation as cited on an excellent blog explaining Baphomet in detail. The symbol of Baphomet was used by the Knights Templars to represent Satan. Through the ages, this symbol has been called by many different names. Among these are the goat of Mendes, the goat of 1,000 young, the black goat, the Judas goat, and perhaps the most appropriately, the scapegoat. Baphomet represents the powers of darkness combined with the generative fertility of the goat. In its pure form, the pentagram is shown encompassing the figure of a man. In the 5 points of the star, 3 points up to positioning, pointing down, symbolizing man's spiritual nature. In Satanism, The pentagram is also used, but since Satanism represents the carnal instincts of man, or the opposite of spiritual nature, the pentagram is inverted to perfectly accumulate the head of the goat, its horns representing duality thrust upwards in defiance, the other 3 points inverted, or the Trinity denied. What is the meaning of this? It holds several meanings, but in it are the keys to the divine work or great mystery of many astralic pursuits, man becoming God by the fashion of opposites, dark and light, male and female, etc. Man can seek godhood. This was the true goal of practitioners centuries ago. The idea of changing lead to gold was just a metaphor for the pursuit of godhood and immortality, hence Baphomet having the phrases solve and conquer on its arms, which is the motto of Almighty, namely dissolving and forming into a new greater being, and that this is done by the return of the ancient gods or the fallen angelic beings to earth. All of these references of opposites are really alluding to the desire for the occultists to join with spirit beings from the angelic realm, and that union is the secret teaching. The Baphomet symbol has become more used in pop culture. Here is another example. Lady Gaga, the Baphomet, as we see, pointing like the Baphomet. And all, as well, she's basically she's basically like a plastic doll, so she's basically saying there that she's controlled by the elite. She's a doll, a puppet. The director of Lady Gaga's video for paparazzi, wearing a Satanist top. Beyonce, the Baphomet. And is this the symbol that can be seen at the top center of the album cover? You decide. This would not be the first time that subtle imagery has been used by Jay-Z or Kanye West. Here are images from Jay-Z's video for onto the next one, released on the 11th of the 10th, which flashed these images briefly. The Baphomet again. And here is a picture of Kanye West, the Baphomet. Interestingly, Luciferian and occultist Aleister Crowley also referred to himself as Baphomet. One of Crowley's main goals was to promote revolution against any moral or religious values in society. His tome, The Book of the Law, and its precepts have been an inspiration to famous musicians for decades because the sellouts, and he failed his plan. Aleister Crowley, he failed, and he'll be burning in hell now, where he belongs. Whether it is Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, or Ozzy Osbourne, Crowley's influence and mantra, do what thou wilt, shall be the whole of the law, seem to be frequently present. The phrase is an instruction to pursue whatever lusts, vices, or pleasures you desire, with no regard for morality, and it also carried the doubt meaning of controlling one's destiny and success through the power of will, which one with esoteric knowledge could be capable of accomplishing. With respect to Christianity, Crowley stated, that religion they call Christianity, the devil they honor, they call God. I accept these definitions as a pope must do, if he is to be at all intelligence to his age, as it is their God and their religion that I hate and will destroy. Crowley, the world's tragedy. It's not a tragedy, it's a good thing that he's dead. Really is. Because, as you can see, his agenda, evil person. Evil person. You can tell these people have got a demonic spirit inside of them. The hatred and anger against Christians. What has a Christian ever done to him? Absolutely nothing. He is the evil, vile person, and I can guarantee that half of the people on the world would be glad that he's dead, because he was evil, a really evil person. He sacrificed children, performed in bestiality and all that. Even his own mother admitted that he was the most evilest man on earth. When your own mother says that you're the evilest man on earth, he was. He was evil. He wanted Christianity destroyed, same as they all do. Adam Westerberg, or whatever his name was, wanted the same. Every Freemason, that's why they do what they do in the industry. They attack Christians. They make fun of them. They mock God continuously over and over again, because they don't care. Because they live by this agenda that, because many people promote it, that, oh, when you die, you go to hell and you're just annihilated. This is why many people live by the motto, oh, I can do what I want. Because if you promote that you're going to be annihilated straight away after you've been in hell, you basically got away with your sins. So why would these people turn to God? That's why they do what they do, because they believe that hell isn't eternal and that they're not going to burn or pay for the sins. They're just going to be annihilated. I mean, because this is what they promote. What thou wilt shall be the whole of the law seems to be frequently present. The phrase is an instruction to pursue. As we see, this was his agenda. Satanic, very satanic, attacking Christianity, wearing a sweatshirt with Crowley's motto, do what thy will. Conclusion: while it could be coincidence that the images on the album could bear a resemblance to the Baphomet, it would not be a surprise if it was not a coincidence based on the past imagery used in photos and videos by these two artists. Artists are free to use whatever images or messages they desire to express themselves. That is the part of the beauty and freedom of art, but the viewer of art has the freedom to use discernment in interpretation and understand the spiritual nature behind it. And as always, Christians, true followers of Christ Jesus the Lord, should be on guard against any type of spiritual deception or anything that glorifies other gods. True. This is why we should be on guard, because these people believe when they die that they're not going to go hell, and these people actually believe, like we know with Drake, they believe that when they go to hell, that it's going to be a party. They're going to be drinking. There's going to be orgies. There's going to be, like we know with most the Muslims, they believe 100 virgins or something when they die. It's a lie. That's what these people believe, that hell is just some party. Satan doesn't even own hell. Who controls hell? God. God only created hell. It was never meant for humans. It was meant for Satan. God doesn't want anyone to perish or burn in the lake of fire. He doesn't want that. He wants everyone to turn to him. That's God's plan, everyone to turn to him, and he saves everyone. But these people just don't care about that. What fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? And have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them, meaning expose them. But as we see, this is the real agenda behind this. As I said, you can make your own decision whether you think it's the bottom bit or not.